To create a protection requirement within Xplan Mortgage from the client summary dashboard, all you need to do is go to New Requirement and Add Protection. This will allow you to do a protection quote for the client. So you put in a quote reference. In this case, I'm going to do a quotation for mortgage protection, additional term assurance, and income protection ×2. So that's what I'm giving my monthly or my quote reference. Sorry. So check that the client details are correct. So I've got my John Hughes. There's the details that I keyed in an earlier session. I have then got his partner here, and then any additional details. Now, if I wish to do so, I could include their height and weight and possibly even their waist size, which will allow me to get some partially underwritten quotes from some providers. Okay, so I'm going to choose to do this in imperial measurement. I am going to do John's measurements. Let's say he is 5'8", he has a waist size of 38 inches, and he is 14 stone 6. And let's say Jane, again, imperial measurements. Let's say she is 5'2", she has a 36-inch waist, and she is 12 stone 10. Okay. From here, then on the right hand side, I can now choose the policies that I want to quote for. So I'm going to choose a mortgage protection policy, and this is going to be a joint policy. And I also want it to include in a multi-benefit quotation. I am going to do an additional term assurance policy, again on a joint basis. I am then going to do income protection for John and income protection for Jane. Okay, so I've selected the relevant policies there, and you can see that I can actually choose up to 5 policies at once. I'm then going to navigate using the bottom grey bar and press the policy details button on the right hand side. The system is now going to give me the ability to enter all of the relevant details that I want to quote for. Okay, and it provides a tab system. So I have one tab for each policy. So first I have my mortgage protection or my decreasing cover. So in this case, I want to do an 18-year term, and they're borrowing £70,000 on their mortgage. And I would like to include critical illness cover. I can choose whether to have that on an accelerated or an additional basis. So if it was to be on an accelerated basis and one of the clients was to get a critical illness, the policy would pay out and then cease. If it was on an additional basis and they got a critical illness, it would pay out and then it would also pay out again upon death, or it would continue to the end of the term. Okay, I'm going to leave it on accelerated for now. I could choose to add critical illness buyback, life cover buyback, total permanent disability, and whether that be on any occupation, own occupation, suited occupation, etc. Confirm my commission details here. So my commission detail is preset at initial and renewal. And then I have my quote details here on the right hand side. So doing a system quote, the interest rate, let's say the gross interest rate is 5%. And the policy interest rate at 5%, because I know the mortgage that I've done for them is at a lower rate than 5%, both at the initial period and on renewal. And if I wanted to, I can choose to quote either guaranteed or low start or reviewable. I'm going to go with guaranteed in this instance. Okay. I then have the ability to add additional options such as accidental death benefit, terminal illness benefit, and so on. Once I have completed all the mandatory fields, and the only mandatory fields are marked with a red asterisk, then I go on to the term assurance policy. And we'll see here that the mortgage protection tab now has a tick on it because I've completed all of the mandatory information. Okay, I'm then going to go to the term assurance, and I'm going to do 25-year term, and I'm going to give them an additional £35,000 worth of level cover. I'm not going to include critical illness with this one. I'm going to leave all of the other policy information the same down the right hand side. I'm then going to go on to income protection. Okay, now the system has brought through John's income that I keyed in when I completed the fact find for me. So all I need to really enter on here is the deferred period. So let's say he gets 12 months full sick pay. So I'm going to change that period to 12 months. If I wish to do so, I could also change the policy term. So be it to age or be it to a certain number of years. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at age, and I'm going to choose until 68. Okay, I'm then going to do Jane's income protection. Again, it's brought through her annual income. Let's say she gets 6 months full sick pay, and she would also like her policy to run until she is 68. I'm leaving all other details the same, and then I just confirm my multi-benefit details. So it confirms here the start date is today, monthly premium, and a commission on everything is all set at maximum at initial and renewal. I'm then going to go to source on the top right, the green button there, And the system is now going to take all of the client information. It's going to send it out to all of the providers that are available via my Xplan mortgage license. And it's going to bring me back individual quotes for each of those policy types and also a multi-benefit quote. Okay, so it takes just a few seconds. Okay, so we can see here I've got my mortgage protection policies here. There's my table of results. There are a few things I can do within this screen. So firstly, this screen is ordered by the lowest product first. Okay, and you'll see here any of those providers that offer partially underwritten quotes, it's got a column in here that shows me the partially underwritten quotes, so I can see which providers would rate this based on the client's BMIs. Okay, now what I could do if I'm uncertain whether to recommend, let's say, one of the first three, I could tick them on the left hand side. Okay, so let's choose the first three, and then I can go to the compare button, and this will allow me to compare all of the policy details side by side. It may help me make my recommendation. Okay, if I go back to my results now, so let's say I'm going to choose this Aegon product. So I'll untick the ones I don't want. Now from here, if I wish to do so, I could create the documents from here. So if I click this drop down on that green button, I could view further details on the product. I can show the documentation. So I could produce the key features document. So let's see that here. Okay. So there's the key features document for this one. I could also produce in this instance various other documents. Okay. So there we have, and also some forms on here. It's up to you whether you utilise that functionality at this point. What I can also do, if that's the one that I'd like to go with, I'm going to select the add button and it's going to pop it over into my product browser or my shopping basket on the right hand side. Okay, so I've chosen the mortgage protection policy that I would recommend, and now I'm going to go to the term assurance policy. Again, I can see them in premium order. And I can see which ones have actually been rated based on the client's BMIs, and I can choose to either compare some. Again, I would tick them down the left and then choose compare. I can see all of the details here. Okay, now if I wish to, I can just add to package directly from here. So let's do that with this Aviva product, for example. We go to add to package. Okay, take just a few seconds, no longer usually than a maximum of 10 seconds to add that. Okay, if I go back to my results, I will see that it's added it to the package or the shopping basket or product browser on the right hand side. We're then going to look at John's income protection. Again, any rated products are shown at the top with the rated prices in. And let's say I am going to recommend this AIG product. Okay, so in this case, I'm not going to compare them. I'm simply going to add that AIG product into my shopping basket on the right hand side. Okay, and now I'm going to do Jane's income protection. And this case, I'm going to choose this Aegon product, okay, for demonstration purposes. Now, obviously, in a real life scenario, I would spend more time looking at the product details and producing all of the documents. But obviously, you know how to do that now. So I'm just going to show you reasonably quickly how to add the product. So I've now got my 4 separate products on the right hand side. Okay, so I can see here that if I recommend those 4 products, the total premium for my clients each month would be £89.79 per month. Okay, however, if I click on the multi-benefit tab, I can see here that actually if we got all of the products from Aegon as a personal protection menu, it would cost £72.91 a month. So it would actually work out cheaper for the client. So if I wish to go with that menu plan instead, I could produce the documents from here again if I wish to by simply clicking that drop down and let's say view illustration. It will produce the illustration for me, and this will show that full menu plan on one document here. So it's created my key features. I can see here it's a 10-page document, so it's personalised to my clients and this Aegon product or menu plan. Okay, I'll close that. And now what I'm going to do is add that into my shopping basket. So it's going to replace the previous single ones that I'd created. I can see here on the right hand side. Okay, if I now wish to do my illustrations for this, all I need to do is select illustrations on the bottom right. Now it may be that you've already done your illustrations or you could do them at this point. It's up to you. It depends how you wish to work. Okay, so the system's already telling me this is the product that I've selected. And now I can choose to generate the documents. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to download is the comparison report. So essentially this is going to show me what I quoted for and the table of results. Okay, so I can justify my recommendation in essence. So this is an 8-page document. In this instance, it's got the client details at the top, followed by details of what I quoted for, followed by the quotes that were returned. Okay, so we've got the information there. Now I don't have to save that, the system will auto save that for me. So I can simply close it from there. What I am then going to do is produce the key features illustration again, just to show you that you can do it from this screen also, and it will bring up that same document that we saw a few moments ago. Okay, and again, I'm going to close that and it will auto save it. Okay, or I could produce a secondary comparison report, very similar to the first, but this one has the commission on the right hand side. Okay, otherwise same document. And again, I'm going to close that and it will auto save. Okay, what I can then do is I can generate my demands and needs letter. Now in this instance, we're purely just showing how to do the quotation. There is a separate training session for creating the demands and needs letter. But before I end this session, I would just like to show you, if I go to the client record by clicking the client details or the names at the top, I can see now on my client summary page, here is that protection requirement that I've done. I know it's the protection requirement because it has a picture of a shield on it. Also, I can see here the recent documents I created. So there is the quote comparison I've done and the personal protection documents that I created there. Okay.